Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great Monday. So there were no videos for the last 3 days. We didn't have any new stories coming out on Friday, so I'm like, I'm gonna take the weekend off. So I did. So had plenty of fun time with my family, but it's great to be back in the seat here talking to you guys again. Here's what we got going on. We got news from Soluna, we got news from Hut 8, we got news from Riot as well. So we got quite a few things to talk about, and then we also to take a look, obviously, what happened in the markets today with Bitcoin, Ethereum. The miners were actually down today. Bitcoin was down, markets were all down today. So we'll take a look at what's going on there, and then we'll get into all the news stories that we do have. So, but as always, you guys know the drill here. This is not financial advice for entertainment only. Please do your own research, and I'm invested in applying coins and companies for full disclosure. And I promise I'll get to you guys' comments here later on tonight. And if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. So let's take a look at the markets here really quick. S&P was down 0.45%, Dow Jones was down 0.04%, Nasdaq was down 0.06%, so it was down, but it wasn't down that bad. Excuse me. Bitcoin, on the other hand, it's still down. It's got about 2 hours left to go on the day. It's at 30,170 right now. It's down about $306, $303 right now. It's about 1% off on the day right now. So it isn't too bad. If we look at the daily chart here, we can see here that we've had a nice run up, obviously, last week. And then over the weekend, we've kind of stalled a little bit here. And then Monday, we're falling back down a little bit. On the 1 day, it's still looking pretty good to me. I'm still thinking, I don't know if we're going to fall even further. Like I said in previous videos last week, I was thinking it was going to go down closer to the 23,800 mark. We'll see if that happens. Still playing out. Right now, the daily looks okay. The 4 hours looks like it's okay. We got the RSI trending downwards, which is good to see. And I'm trying to find some peaks and valleys here to compare against. And the only one I can see here is back here. Closest one was back here as well. Price was much lower at that point. So we're still looking pretty good on the 4-hour chart. However, on the 1-hour chart, if we look at that one, we can see that the RSI here on the valleys is 38. It was pretty close to here as well. Price at that point was actually right around here. And then if we go to that other valley, price was actually lower at that point. So we're starting to see a little bit of a downtrend here on the RSI and on the price. Or the RSI is kind of flat a little bit. Price is coming down a little bit. So we'll see if it's going to play out that way, we're going to go down even more. Trying to see if I can find some other peaks here, maybe right around here. We can see at 46. We were back here at 46. Price was also higher at that point. We're lower in price right now. So we might be coming down here in the next couple of days. We'll see how this is all going to play out. Obviously, with the miners or Bitcoin being down, the miners had a rough day today as well. But let's get into Ethereum here really quick as well. Ethereum on the daily, let's see how that one's doing right now. We had kind of a mixed day on the weekend. We were up Sunday, we were down Saturday, we're down today. We're down 2.56% on Ethereum right now. It's at 1,850 and change, and we'll see how that one continues going forward. Let's just take a look at the RSI on the 4-hour really quick. We can see that the RSI has been coming down quite nicely. We're back to here where we were last time, back here. Price is up higher on the 4-hour start still, so that's good. On the 1-hour chart, we can see here that we do have a peak here a little bit at 38. We had a previous peak here, and we can see that price is actually coming down while the RSI is standing still. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, so it looks like we might be coming down a little bit, but we'll see. Now, as far as the miners are concerned, let's get rid of the daily lines here for that, make it a little bit easier to see things. Annie was down 10.77% today to 30 cents. I'm not going to go over all these. Argo was down 0.62%. Bit Digital was down 7.82%. BitDeer was down 3.25%. Bitfarms was down 9.21%. Cypher was down 2.07%. CleanSpark was down 8.06%. Cores was actually up today, 0.07%. DigiHost was down 2.89%. DMG was down 8.22%. Greenidge was down 9.86%. Hive was down 5.54%. Hut was down 9.22%. That's in line with the rest of the miners here. Iris Energy was down 8.7%. Marathon was down 7.24%. Mawson was down 7.81%. Riot was down 7.16%. Soluna was down 2.56%. Stronghold was down 6.35%. TerraWolf was down 6.11%. So all the miners were pretty much down for the day. And this is one of those opportunities where if you're dollar cost averaging in, might not be a bad time to actually, do some of that. I'm still waiting to scrounge up some more cash so I can start buying again, but maybe within the next week or two, I'll start buying a little bit more here. Okay, so just want to point that out for you guys there. And then let's take a look at the Now cash rate really quick. Now cash rate right now is down to 356 million on the 7-day average. If we look at this 1-day average, we can see that we are kind of trading in this sideways pattern here, kind of flat. We keep bouncing up and down, and we are at 398 right now. We were at 325, so we are going up and down, but it seems like it's more flattening out than instead of this constant move in the upward direction. So that's good for the time being. Okay. Here are the stories that we do have, and the first one is going to be on Soluna. So Soluna secures Nasdaq's approval for 180-day extension to meet bid price requirement, which is $1. So they get another 180 days to try and reach that. Hopefully they can get there, and hopefully they can start reporting their monthly production updates. That way we can start talking more about them. Just wanted to point that out to you guys on this one. Hut 8 also has, well, they announced a $50 million credit facility. So here's the details. Hut 8 today announced that together with its subsidiary, Hut 8 Holdings, it has entered into a $50 million credit facility with Coinbase Credit. As a lender, the loan proceeds will be used for general corporate purposes. Is it a good idea for them to get credit? They have plenty of Bitcoin that they could possibly use if they need to from time to time. I know that the production has been down significantly in the last 6 months, 7 months. So that's not helping things out. But the terms aren't that bad. The terms are actually pretty good for them. So that might be the reason why they pulled on this. Here's a quote from Jamie. So this credit facility gives us additional financial flexibility. At the same time, it ensures that we can maintain our dynamic Bitcoin treasury management strategy going into the halving event. So it looks like they want to continue to hodl as much as they can. They did start selling a little bit here in the past year, or in the beginning of the year. They sold a little bit. And they sold, I think right now they've sold out of 3 or 4 months out of the last 6 or so. Well, we're in June now, in the 6th month right now. So I think they've sold like out of the 3 months so far. Okay. The credit facility provides us with 15 million term loan, which is expected to be funded at or shortly following closing. The credit facility also provides an option of drawing an additional 20 million delayed draw term loan tranche and a second borrowing between 1 and 2 months following the closing, as well as an option to further drawing an additional 15 million delayed draw term loan tranche and a third borrowing within 15 days following the completion of the previously announced merger between Hut 8 and US Data Mining Group. So they're still planning on getting that done. So they would have a total of 50 million to them. All amounts under the credit facility will bear interest at a rate equal to A, the greater of I, the federal funds rate on the date of the applicable borrowing, and 2, 3.25 plus B, 5%. So it looks like they're going to be about 8.25%, which isn't too bad, I guess, all things considered. The obligations under the the obligations under the credit facility are secured by the borrower's interest in certain Bitcoin held in the custody of Coinbase Custody Trust Company LLC and are guaranteed by the company. So they're putting up collateral as their Bitcoin hodl position. Not all of it. They're putting in probably $50 million worth of it to it. Excuse me. So my take on this is it's neither here nor there, I guess. It's not bad. It's not great. It does free them. Well, it does help keep their Bitcoin hodl in check. But at the same time, they're going to be paying interest rate on this. I don't know if that's a great idea. Let me know what you guys think of this. I'm kind of on the fence on this one. It's neither bad nor good, I guess you could say. Okay, so that's it for that one. Next one is going to be on Riot here. So Riot had a fantastic news today, and I'm surprised that the stock didn't actually go up higher today based on the information. So based on this information, we'll get through it all, but by the looks of things, they could become either the number 2 Bitcoin miner by hash rate next to, Marathon, or possibly surpass them in the future unless Marathon provides that they're buying more miners. But for the time being, it kind of looks like that way. Okay. So here's what they announced. Today, it has entered into a long-term purchase agreement with MicroBT Electronics through its manufacturing subsidiary, MicroBT. These are going to be produced in the United States, so that's good there. Under the agreement, Riot has secured an initial order of 33,280 next-generation Bitcoin miners from MicroBT. These are going to be for their Corsicana facility, and for total consideration of $162.9 million. This is exclusive of applicable taxes and fees and adjustments, equating to approximately $21.50 per terahash, which is actually pretty good price on those. The agreement provides delivery of the new miners starting in December 2023, with miner deployment planned to begin in Q1 2024. Upon full deployment of the 33,280 miners ordered, which is anticipated to be completed by mid-2024, Riot's self-mining hash rate capacity is expected to increase to 20.1 exahash. So that would put them in second place behind Marathon. Marathon's supposed to get to 23 point something. And here's what they're getting with that first order here. They're getting the M56S pluses, 8,320 of those. Those are 220 terahash miners, and those are 24 joules per terahash. And then they're also getting the M56S++, 24,960 of those. Those are 230 terahash miners, and there are 22 joules per terahash. These are also can be used in immersion cooling exclusively for this one. That's how they're able to get such a high hash rate on these. So Riot has also secured the option to purchase up to 66,560 additional M56S++ miners from MicroBT on the same terms as the initial order under the agreement. Assuming full exercise of Riot's option, the 66,560 additional miners would add an additional 15.3 exahash to Riot's self-mining capacity to a potential total of 35.4 exahash. Riot may execute the option in whole or in part through December 31st, 2024. So they got basically a year and a half to get into that if they wanted to. But obviously that would make them the #1 miner here as far as hash rate is concerned. Marathon would be in second place, then CleanSpark would be in third place on that one. Okay, so this is actually really good news from them. Like I said, I'm surprised the site didn't actually blow up today based on this news, because this is going to be a huge bump in hash rate for them. Okay, the other good thing about this is obviously the MicroBTs are going to be made here in the United States, which I think is also fantastic. So that's good news there. And that's it. Let me know what you guys think of this. Riot is definitely one that might be worth dollar cost averaging into over the long run. Maybe they are a little bit pricey right now, but given that Bitcoin possibly will go up in value over the next 12 months to 18 months, I think it might be a pretty good bet going forward. So I got to do some number crunching here, figure out what I want to do. But I know I definitely want to dollar cost average in some more to the miners that I have, and potentially pick up some new ones as well. Okay, so that's it. And then finally, not finally. The other thing I want to do was to take a look at how these would actually ROI for them. So I took a look also at Bitmain's newest miners that they have here. Some of the older ones, the 141 terahash, the 122, and the 90 terahash. See how they would compare to the new miners from MicroBT. And this should have been M56S plus. Forgot to put the S. Okay, so those are here. So this is the way I did it. I'm looking at the time frame of the next 48 months, basically. Bitcoin price is kind of where it's at right now, at 30,000 roughly. I'm still guessing that Bitcoin might end up here by December, somewhere around 40,000 here, looks like, because we're got basically July to go through July, August, September, October, November, December, 6 months left to go. Something that's going to be around 38,000. We'll see if that gets close to that. And then we have the halving event coming up here, possibly around March, April, May, somewhere around there. Don't know exactly when that's going to happen, but it looks like I think it's going to be around April somewhere. Okay, so that kind of coincides here where we have that obviously decrease in the network, decrease in the Bitcoins given out to the miners, drops to 450 per day from 900. So that's going to affect revenue obviously for them. But I did a comparison here for all this, and this is basically Bitcoin going up in value here over the next couple months here. We're looking at, let me see here, Bitcoin going up 5% over the next, per month, for the next 12 months. After that, it might go up 14% per month because we get into the bull run after the halving event. And then after that, we might actually drop down in value with Bitcoin about 8.4% based on historical values and things like that. And then after that, up another 5%. As far as network hash rate, I got it going up 2.5 to 1.51% each year per month increases. So we'll see if that actually plays out that way. But right now, it's just kind of some assumptions that I'm taking into account here to see what the ROI would be on these miners. So with the miners that they bought right now, it looks like it's about 15 months ROI, given that we are getting into the halving event here pretty close. We're about 10 months away right now. That is obviously going to have an impact on it, but it does show that they would have about net revenue over 48 months per miner would be right around, profit would be about 15,000 per miner purchased. Okay, so they're paying about 4,703 per miner. That's a pretty good return on investment if they can run them for 48 months. And that's typically the lifespan of the miners, 48 to 60 months for the most part. And then the S++s would be around 16,500. So that's a little bit better return on investment on those. And then comparing it to like the Antminer 141 terahash, those are 12 months. Those have a lower return on investment over the 12 months. It's about 10,579. The 122 terahash is about 8,333, and the 90 is only 5,487. But you do get quicker ROI on those. You're not going to get as much money out of them over the long run. But percentage ROI over 48 months, you do have a little bit of a better increase on the 90 terahash miners. But the other thing you have to take into consideration is the network hash rate going up in value. Eventually, those are not going to be profitable, possibly within the next 2.5, 3 years, possibly, depending where the network hash rate goes to. But based on these figures, they would be the most, well, Avalons are coming in at 755%. So those would be actually, depending on the price you get them at. So it really all depends on the price you're paying for per terahash on those, and how much you're paying up front on them, how much you can actually return on investment on those. But still, I think 333%, 319, and it all depends on where Bitcoin goes, things like that. That's actually a pretty good return on investment. And those are going to be really efficient. Joules per terahash is 24, 22. The only one that's better on that is the 141. They might be able to increase that even more based on optimizing the miners for immersion cooling. They possibly could bump them up a little bit as far as network terahashes is concerned. Maybe 20%, maybe somewhere around there. So they could become even more efficient for them, use a little bit more electricity, but maybe they become more efficient. So there's a lot of variables here to play with, but this is kind of the way it looks at things, okay? All right, so that's it for that one. Overall, I think it's not a bad deal for them. 15 months isn't too bad. Usually you want to get at least around 12 months ROI. The quicker the better, obviously, is. Okay, let me know what you guys think of all this. And then finally, we haven't gone over this on Sunday or over the weekend. Like I said, I took a couple of days off just to have fun with the family. But we got to go over, obviously, how the miners performed last week against Bitcoin. So as always, we go through the charts here. The first chart is of the miners. The green bars are how far the miners are up from their 52-week lows. And then the red bars are how far the miners are from their 52-week highs, or how far away they are from their 52-week highs. Okay, so Core Scientific, with the recent price increase that it had last week, it's up 1,582% from its bottom of like 4 cents, I think it was. So that's up huge, obviously. BitDigital is up 720%, Cypher's up 659, DigiHost up 458, Iris is up 351, Argo 347, Marathon 308, Bitfarms 304, Hut 8 is up 275, Riot up 256, TeraWolf 233, Hive 205, CleanSpark 163, DMG 157, Mawson 124. Bitcoin's only up 96% from its 52-week low. And Sphere is 46% on that one. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, from their 52-week highs, obviously BitDigital is the closest one to get into their 52-week highs here. They're only about 5.4%. TeraWolf is 10% away. Bitcoin's only 2.2%. Obviously, with Bitcoin coming down and everything else, that's going to change because these are numbers from Friday's numbers for all the miners and for Bitcoin as well. And then looking down here, as far as how the miners compared to Bitcoin for the past week, you can see it here that Bitcoin was actually up 16.59% on the week. The miners that did worse were Riot, Mawson, and Cypher. Ones that did really good here, obviously Core was up 81.58% on the week. Argo was up 56%. Iris up 34%. Bitfarms was up almost 30%. BitDigital up was almost 30 as well. So those have all had really good week last week, along with the rest of the miners. Sure, you guys can take a look at that for the 1 week. And then when we look at the 4 weeks here really quick, let's take a look at it here. On the 4 weeks, we can see here that Bitcoin, where's Bitcoin? Bitcoin's up 12.65%. The miners that did worse were Cypher, CleanSpark, Sphere, Riot, and Mawson. The one that has done the best has been Core, BitDigital, Hut, Iris, Hive. Those have done really good. You can see the other numbers here as well. And then on the 8 weeks, if we look at that as well, we can see where's Bitcoin. Bitcoin's up only 3.93%. The following miners have done worse: Riot, DigiHost, TeraWolf, Mawson, Sphere. The ones that have done the best here are Core, BitDigital, Hut 8, Cypher, Bitfarms, and then the rest as well. And then finally on the 12 weeks, we can take a look at that as well. On the 12 weeks, we can see here that, let's see here, where's Bitcoin? Bitcoin is up only 9.92%. The ones that did worse are Argo, Sphere 3D, Mawson. And the best ones that did from 12 weeks ago are BitDigital, Core, CleanSpark, TeraWolf, and Hut 8. And then the rest as well along the line here, you can see here. So it's been a fun it's been a fun first half of the year. Let's just say that. For the most part, we are up on the miners. Bitcoin's up as well, so that's good to see. We're having more green here as well, so that's always good to see here. We had 2 weeks ago, we were pretty much in the green. Last week, we were really in the green. So that's always great to see. And then we're starting to see more green than we are red, which is also good to see. I think that once we get past the summer dulls, lulls, whatever, uh, we're going to possibly climb back up into more of a bull run a little bit here in Bitcoin, not only Bitcoin, but in miners, especially as we get closer towards the new year and as we get closer to the halving event as well. That's going to be a catalyst for us to go up in value. Okay. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously, and we'll see what happens later on this week. See if anybody else reports or anything like that. But that was great news from Riot, obviously growing tremendously here. We'll see if the market actually responds to it maybe tomorrow. We'll see. I think it all depends on Bitcoin. Bitcoin always goes down. They might continue to go down, but I was surprised that they didn't go up today. So usually on that kind of news where they're growing that much, you would see a little bit of a pump in the stock, but we haven't seen that today. So that was kind of surprising. Okay, so that's it. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe, like I said, and I'll see you guys in the next one.